We've moved from virtue signaling to vice signaling, and they're vice signaling. They're now showing the worst of themselves. And well, I don't know if they can see themselves or not, but they seem proud of their vice.
Yes. And that's the narcissistic rage. But back to, I didn't define the borderline for you. The borderline is an dysregulation, very creative. And so there can be some assets associated with it, but a lot of dysregulation, a lot of hysteria. As we move, you see, we've become very hysterical as a country. And, you know, I've been looking at the French lately with a bit of jealousy, because women have been a feature of leadership and political process in that country for 150 years. And it has a very different feel to it. It really is about solving problems, not just about cherry picking things that make you feel good. In LA County, in LA City here, we have someone who is on the city council who said, geez, we're having this outbreak of the catalytic converters being taken out of people's cars and stolen. We gotta condemn Toyota. They made it too easy to be stolen. Mind you, you have to jack the car up and come up with a sawzall or a torch to get the thing out, but it's too easy. So, and then no follow-up, no concern, no, oh, bad on me, I got that one wrong, we'll have to do something else. No adjustment, no follow-up, and no attempt to get at things getting better. It's really kind of a problem.
You know, last point on this feminization, which I want to think about more, and I want to explore more here
Read
on the
Adam's
show,
book.
is that
it was 15 years ago.
Will.
He saw it coming, and he was spot on about it. I argued with him back then. I'm like, come on, old man, and now he's like, I told you this is what it's going to be, and it's not good. You don't build the Golden Gate Bridge that way. You build the train, the fast train we have here in this state, where not one track gets laid down.
You know, I had this conversation on Friday with Jack Brewer, who is a very, very vocal and thoughtful Christian. And I've been talking about this privately, but as a Christian, what I would describe is the feminization of the leadership of Christianity. Now, I had a viewer write in, Will, don't talk like that. That validates so many things from the left. I'm a woman and I'm a Christian. No, but this is where we have to do that thing where, as you're describing, we've got to set aside our emotions for just a moment. So I know how that makes you feel emotionally. If you're a woman and you're listening, I know how that makes you feel. I'm asking you to set that aside for a moment.
Yeah.
And well, here's what. If you go to a church, and it's the vast majority of churches in America today, and you listen to the sermon, you listen to the pastor, what you'll often hear is just a completely empathy-driven message. And what's lacking is justice and judgment. Well, the Bible is nothing if not often primarily about justice and judgment, living up to the judgment of God. That's not that each of us are God and pass judgment, but we use judgment. We have to use judgment. That's how we don't die of food poisoning, because we have the ability to discern and judge rotten food from healthy food. It should be the same for morality and behavior. My point of this isn't that empathy is worthless. Empathy is part of the equation, but increasingly it's become the only prism through which we view empathy and tolerance Christianity. And I would apply that writ large to America as well. So when I say the church has become feminized, or we're talking about America being feminized, what I'm asking someone to do is set aside the emotional reaction of suggesting feminization is all bad. It's not. But we're not balanced, to your point. And that's why there's been this whole push of masculinity. There needs to be a rebalancing. Masculinity has to come back into the church. It has to come back into the message. And it has to come back into corporate America, the legal profession, and it has to come back into the culture of America.
And we have a lot of 25 to 35-year-old males who are really in trouble. And they are worthy and good and should be supported and should be helped to thrive. And I hear a lot from all of them, something that we did not do in my day when I was that age, which was tell me what to do. They're looking for both spiritual guidance and career guidance and life guidance. How do you get traction? How do you get inspired? What should I be doing? That is a new phenomenon. Back in my day, we were like, we don't want anything to do with you guys. We're going to find our own way. And this is not that. We have locked them down. We have mistreated them. We've told them they're worthless. We have given them no opportunities. And guess what? It worked, everybody. They're now drifting. and they need us, and they need to be supported. There's a rich supply of talent there.
And I think culture and religion, everything is based upon this balancing act between the masculine and the feminine. We are a pair. We are a partnership for a reason, because we bring things to each other that are of value that the other is missing. And right now it's feeling like the masculine contribution to that partnership is being described as toxic. And maybe that's why. Take a look. I've been talking about this, Dr. Drew. This is fascinating. Birth rates in Europe are a huge story in and of themselves, okay? We've also talked about birth rates in America, but I haven't seen it broken down by political ideology, which is really fascinating. This was in the Financial Times. The average birth number of children born to people of different political ideologies, okay? Conservative has gone down, but it's only gone down from about 2.7 to 2.6, 2.5. So you're still above replacement rate for conservatives, right? Progressive birth rates have plummeted from the same, right there with conservatives. This is in 1980. In 1980, they were right together. So we're talking about over a 40-year time frame here. Progressives have dropped from 2.7 to below 1.8, well below replacement level. And globally, by the way, it's even worse. Globally, they've dropped to about 1.6 progressives in having children. The left, not having kids, Dr. Drew.
Well, if you're convinced that the world is coming to an end because people swept you into hysteria, that clearly we're already 20 years past the deadline, yeah, I understand that might make you not want to reproduce. If you also hate men or devalue families and don't see any utility in children, it's the weirdest thing. People need to think about.
Or may I offer, just as a connection to our previous conversation, prioritize career above family building.
Yeah, right. And that's what that is. And that's fine. I mean, that's good that I want people, but you better be realistic about your fertility. You know, this fertility technologies now can really help, and go do that. But they're not doing that either. They really are just not seeing value. We have to really think about why humans are here and what our purpose is. That again, the young males need inspiration for meaning making, and all of us, you know, really the fundamental reason we're here is to push our genes forward. I mean, that's just keep the species going. That is ultimately what we're here for. But beyond that, we are here for meaning making and thriving and helping each other. And we can do that, but we have to really inspire people and pay attention and not be so hateful. There's hate. Remember, I said in 1968, the Summer of Love, it was kind of having been there again, it was sort of an empty, vapid time. Let's be clear. But at least there was an attempt to be positive. That it was all about, you know, getting along and having a Coke. You know, it's the Don Draper song.
Yeah.